Hello there. Welcome to the stream. Let's see here. Hi, I'm here. Nice to see you. I'm streaming for the first time in a long time, so bear with me as I do some of this stuff. Also, I am getting over a cold right now, and so sometimes I get a little phlegmy. So sorry. And for some reason, I don't know, OBS keeps like blacking out the screen every once in a while, so I'm going to try to fight that. But today we are drawing little dragons together, and I'm super excited about it. Also, there's a lot of noise outside, so if you guys need me to close the window, I will gladly do that. It's very hot, so I'm going to try not to, but we'll see. But today, okay, so what I want to just show you guys first is that I have been working on these tiers. This is for Patreon, so I've been building my Patreon page back up so that I can just have a place where, hey, Zona, good to see you. First one, you're amazing. I am Dragons. I'm trying to build this page to be a place where I can make short stories and work on writing as well as illustrating along with the audience, so people can sign up to like collaboratively write through polls and comments and things like that, so that we can all kind of write this story together, kind of in a choose your own adventure style way. So I made some of these little guys. Here, I should show you the big ones. Sorry, this file is so all over the place. But these are like the tier mascots. So tier 1 is the little royal burbs, which are these little, I don't know, it was a bluebird, but it's kind of the shapes I usually use for pigeons and stuff. And then a little rodent, and of course a little foxy fox, because I couldn't help myself. If you'll notice, there's a little jewel on each of their crowns. So this is 1, and then there's 2 jewels, and then 3. Wow. So, the idea, yeah, I know, all Photoshop files are crazy. I seriously, like, it gets out of hand sometimes. So, I try to rein it back in, but you never know how it's going to go. This part of the file, I'm adding these like little leaves around it for thank you notes. I want to order a notepad full of each tier's artwork so that I can use the notepad and like write little thank you notes on it for them, for patrons. So I just booped that out today. But what we're working on is these dragons. So I had an idea for a higher tier, and I figured while it's in my head, I should just make the artwork for it, because sometimes like you lose motivation on those kind of things, and I don't want it to become like, oh, I have to drag my 3 feet through making this dragon for the tier artwork. I want it to be there when I want to launch it. So I decided let's follow that little idea and make it a stream. So for all of these guys, I have basically done like 3 little sketches. I actually did many more, but I choose what I think are the strongest ones. And then these are the rodents and the birds, and you can see out of 3 of them, I pick what I think is the strongest design out of all of them. And also is like a different feeling than the other 2. Like, I liked the standing mouse one, but it was very similar to the one that I did for the fox. So I decided to do fox standing, rat sitting, or rodent. I didn't really delineate whether it was a rat or a mouse or anything. That's old file stuff. See, there are literally like pieces from other files in here. I don't know why. Oh, that one was because when I was trying to make this artwork final, James recommended like, hey, bring in some other artwork that you like of yours to make sure that it's up to snuff. And that's actually a really good idea. So I brought in this other piece to make it feel like, is this hitting the right mark? Is it growing my work in the right direction? Just to kind of self-evaluate a little bit. Zona, I'm just happy groups and smart objects exist. Did I say that right? I can't talk. Yes, oh my gosh. So when I was working for a video game company, smart objects saved my life. I am not exaggerating. They were so huge. And I just thank Adobe every day for that. And so much more. Wouldn't get through my process without those anymore. Yeah, it's super important to have the right file structure, especially when like turning it into other people. On my own though, as you've seen through my work, it's pretty chaotic, but eventually whenever I'm like making something for shipping it, like say I order pins or stickers or something like that, I always make a clean version of the file. So there's like the one that I work in, chaos. The clean version, just what I need, and usually flattened so that there's no mess. and it saves a world of hassle. Anyways, so I was thinking about which one of these dragons to pull forward. I definitely like the end two the most on left and right, but I don't know. I have a certain affinity to the one on the left, but James chose the one on the right, so I'm kind of like skewed towards James's pick just to make sure I don't like miss something that, you know, is good. Plus it has wings, and I think wings are kind of important for a dragon, don't you think? I don't know, Haku doesn't really have wings, does he? Or wait, does he? Oh, I have to look this up now. For those of you who don't know, Haku, the river spirit from Spirited Away. Haku dragon. He doesn't have wings. No, he doesn't have wings. Haha. Check it. I had to make sure because I absolutely love his design. And he's got those little chickeny feet. Oh, they're so good. Look at that color gradient. Ooh, yeah. I would love to draw him. But, ooh, somebody made like a whole... Oh my gosh, that's so cool! Oh, people make such cool stuff, you guys. But, anyways, I guess dragons don't need wings. I just like them. If no layers are named. Oh, I have to be good at naming for myself because bringing a file into... Or is that Illustrator? No, it's After Effects. Yeah, there we go. So confusing. I agree. Oof. Any post product, like anything that you need for post, I just like simplify as much as possible. I like the first one because it looks different from the others, but the circular last one has a fun spiral. Ah, that's good. My friend has one called the Candy Cane Dragon that reminds me of that. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh. Yes, I love long dragons. They're just the coolest. And if you guys haven't seen my latest posts, well, it's got dirt on it because it's been in a plant. But I made this little dragon sculpture for funsies. But it's definitely like a long one, and it's designed for plants. It doesn't sit flat, but I love him, and I'll probably make more dragons because of him. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. And I love the theme too, using like a candy cane. That's not something that you would usually see. You're having trouble thinking up a good name. How dare? Yeah, I love the names that people came up with for him. I feel like when it's somebody else's work, I come up with a name really easily where it's like, oh yeah, I see it and it looks like a friend. But with my own, I very rarely feel that definitive about it. It's like, it's my baby. I don't want to name it. Is that normal? But, you know, he doesn't need a name. I just thought it was a fun way to engage with people. Alright, so first I'm just going to size this guy up for a sec and see how I feel about him. I put him in these little circles because I was thinking about making stickers out of them, and then the little outline was me thinking of enamel pins for them. Just for the possibility of the future, not that I'm like making it right now, but I wanted to just see what it would look like. I think both of these designs could be improved, so we might do a little bit of sketching over. But I do want to see this one big too. So Zona, what have you been working on lately? Tell me about your life. Oh, I do like this guy. The awkward thing about him is the crown placement, I feel like. Zona says, also, I think the air plant is alive, but still not for long. Oh no! You should just take care of it and see what happens, you know? Like, it's a plus if it survives, I guess. I'm so sorry that you, like, forgot about the plants. It's rough. Probably should take care of it. Just a little bit. It's just dying in your arms. It's fine. Oh, I made this one bigger. Okay. I'm going to gray them out. And let's start with this guy and just do a little sketch over to see if we can work out some of the kinks in his design. Alright, so I think the biggest issue is like with his tail, it feels a little bit like it's breaking up the swirliness. Like it feels really cohesive until you get to that point. So maybe we could work some, and this I feel like needs to be a tighter curve. like that. And again, tell me if it's too loud outside. People are like coming home in their cars and stuff, so I don't want that to distract anyone. I am going to maybe have his tail trail behind the wing over here and maybe curl right here or something like that. We'll just see if that works. Not like that. I love an overlap, so I'm trying to make a curly cue that like adds visual interest, I think. Especially if you make the dragon's underbelly a different color from the top. It feels like it turns in space so interestingly, and I love that. Oh my gosh. Oh, Sona, so much has happened. I got a new part-time job offer, so I have to do background check stuff for it, and then I have to leave my retail one and still do work. Great. It sounds like just piling on. But hey, congratulations, new part-time job offer. Ooh. And I've applied for other jobs in the meantime. Too much going on. Oh, I'm so sorry. Also suffering through a cold. Oh. And you had a filling this morning. Oh my gosh. I am so sorry. I'm sorry to laugh at you also, but it's just kind of comedic how it stacks like that. It's just the way life is always. I totally sympathize. One of the reasons that I took a while getting back to streaming was because first New York trip at the beginning of May. That was the end of the residency. Tons of stuff happening. A lot of emotions. I cried a ton. And then I went to Hawaii. Came back from New York, did a bunch of laundry, packed my bag, and headed out for Hawaii again. That vacation was amazing. Okay, I recommend taking at least one vacation per year because, oh my gosh, changes your life. And then after that, I got home, immediately got sick, big fat cold for like a week that just knocked me out. And then once I started to get better, I threw my back out and I could barely move off the couch. And that was just real fun. But it's exactly just life stacking. I am so sorry that like too much is happening right now. I am glad that it's a temporary time. Like you're not always going to feel like that. But I understand the feeling of when you're in it. You're just like, oh my God, could anything else go wrong? Wait, don't say that. Ugh. But hey, at least your tooth is filled. Hey, Studio Long! Welcome back. Oh, it's so good to see you guys. My buddies. Zona, yay on the new job, yeah. Lol, I'm laughing at the chaos that just happened this past week. I know. Oh, and you had 3 fillings on Monday. Oh my gosh, Long. Wow, everybody's getting fillings apparently. Do you guys not have fluoride in the water? I think I had maybe 1 filling in my life, but it's been pretty good to me. You were in Hawaii the same time as my cousin were. Oh, no way. I kept seeing stories from you both at the same time. Lol. I love that. Oh, it's crazy how many people are in Hawaii. And also New York. It's funny, but like I don't know people who are traveling there, but like there were weird coincidences where it's like an illustrator that I follow or like your cousins, just people where I'm like, I don't know, I wouldn't know them like passing them on the street, but they're in the same proximity. Same thing happened in New York. Like some YouTubers that I watch were like, yeah, I was in New York last week. And I was like, but wait, I was, if it was filmed at all at the same time. But it's just one of those things where you're like, I could have passed them on the street. Long says, we see you, wink. Not creepy. Wink. No, I love you guys so much. I hadn't been to the dentist in 5 years. Wow. I mean, I get it. I get it. Like, not going to the dentist, it just kind of becomes a habit. But oh my gosh, 5 years. You sound like my dad. He didn't go for like the majority of his life. Luckily, he didn't grow any molars? No, not molars. Wisdom teeth. And he passed that on to me, so I never had to go through the whole wisdom tooth removal thing, which I am so glad for that. Thank you, Dad. Good genes. Zona says, my filling was a replacement one for the filling that fell out during the cleaning. Oh, no. Was it their fault at all? Like, whoops, there it goes. Oh yeah, my past coworker Bavin, yeah, got the residency, so that was crazy fun thing to hear. Absolutely, and I mentioned like, oh yeah, I know Kendall, and he was like, yeah, I love Kendall, she's awesome. Unfortunately, we didn't get a ton of time to talk because that he lives in New York, and so being in New York with all the residents, a lot of us spent a lot of time together. But the ones who live in New York, they're not there all the time because like when you travel there you're staying at the hotel and you're like, so what are you doing? I'm not like going home, I'm just going to my hotel room, I have nothing better to do. But they're like, no, I'm still working. I'm still doing stuff while I'm here. So it's a little bit different, but he was a good sport, came to all the stuff and like started doing what was it, social media takeovers and things that they have you do. It's so silly. But hey, maybe he'll be a perfect recommendation for you next year. Huh? Get that foot in that door. I love it though. The new residents are so much fun. I love them all. My aunt is a dentist, so she's pretty on us for going to the dentist. Yeah, that happens. Sort of their fault, but it was also a little cavity decay, so they still made me pay. If it's at all their fault, I feel like it should just be like, well, we'll just replace that for you, right? But I don't know. I'm one of those horrible people who complains if something is like slightly able to be refunded. But honestly, it saves you a lot of money and a lot of heartache. But the tooth stuff is not cheap. Like anything to do with teeth, especially depending on your insurance, of course. Which, yay, you guys are gonna hear me complain more and more about getting insurance again because I'm off the Adobe insurance, and now it's time to get into OHP again. Yay! Oh well, other people have it worse. We're lucky to have anything. But the insurance system in this country is just kind of whack, man. Just super whack. But I don't know the next time that I'll get my teeth looked at, so I promise to floss and to brush all the time. It came out pretty easily from the water, so I understand the reasoning, but it's still annoying. Heck yeah, thank God for insurance. This is why I hadn't been. I have to get some soon too. Oh yeah. But now I have good dental insurance. Yay! Good dental insurance is like the best thing you could wish for, along with just general insurance. Good insurance is worth anything. And let's see. Oh, mine's about to disappear because I turned 26. I hate that. Oh, in October, and that's the end of parents letting you use it. Yeah, that was a rude awakening for me when I turned 26, and I was like, I guess I'll have to get insurance, blah, 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 living life. And then it was like, oh, you're 26. Immediately, you know, like, if you have any issue, you're screwed unless you get insurance. It's so sad. And, I don't know. It's just one of those things that you have to fight for in jobs, and especially being a freelancer now, I'm like, that's going to be basically half of all my income is going to go to that kind of stuff. Plus taxes, plus, what other stuff? Oh, going to the agent and stuff like that. It's just, everything costs more. But, since Portland is really close to Washington, there's a place called Vancouver, Washington, that's literally across the river from Portland. So I could be like, okay, I'm just going to get an apartment over there, not pay income tax, because they don't have income tax there. They have sales tax, and then come across the river to go shopping, and then not have to pay sales tax. Is that horrible? No, it's just one of those, like, pipe dreams of possibility. But we'll see what happens in the future. You never know. It's all up to jobbies and needies. Trying to add more flow to this tail. Make it nice. Twice as nice. Alright, I'm gonna throw some more lines in here to kind of delineate what this is about. I added ears to him too. I don't know if you guys like that or not. Okay, car, I hear you. I get it. So I was thinking for this fourth tier of two different options, and I don't know which one I would choose. And I'm probably not going to implement it for a while now, just because right now I'm just trying to build, following of any kind, let alone like for the higher tiers. You know what I mean? Okay. It kind of messes with the clear wings, like the wings don't read as clearly. But the fourth tier ideas that I had, one was doing a paint over of artwork, so it would be more of a teaching kind of thing where I would do just a quick look at this piece, what do I find to be the biggest issues, paint over, and then have another layer of like typed up description of what I did and why. And I've done that for tons of my friends, and it feels like it's, oh, hey, Robo Space Cop. Sorry, I have to read the chat first after I describe this. Okay. So, I was thinking either painting over people's pieces, and that would be really fun. I've done it for tons of friends, and it's just a really quick way to give feedback and be like really helpful, hopefully. And then, the other option is to make a customized, like, trophy or like avatar kind of thing where it's like a portrait of you or some character you want done, something like that, almost a commission, but like I would have a very set style where it's going to be like, here's your character in this style, so you know exactly what you're getting. It translates completely. And that would probably, both of those, I think I would go 45, 50, something like that. So it definitely wouldn't be like a ton of them, and I'd probably limit them anyway because I don't want to spend all my time doing commissions or giving feedback. But we'll see what happens. It's just first about getting people who are interested in any of what I'm offering, and then asking them, what do you guys like? Because I want it to be a collaborative thing. Okay, now, chat. What are you guys talking about? I have to find where I was. Blah, 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 blah. Now I have good dental insurance. Mine's about to, oh yeah, it's 26. Although my mother might let me pay her on her plan since, oh, okay, because she gets a good deal. Oh, that would be good. I think that's, personally, I would jump on that if it's a good price and a good deal. Robo Space Cop, thank you for coming. Welcome to the chat. You have an agent? Yes, I do have an agent. His name's Justin Rucker over at Shannon Associates. Studio Long says, loophole! I'm guessing that's about the insurance, not the agent. Yes. Robo Space Cop. Or should I just call you, I'll call you Robo. Or Space Cop. Robo. I'll go with Robo. So Robo, are they helpful? Agents are incredibly helpful. There are certain circumstances when they're really helpful. So for instance, something just came up where someone emailed me out of the blue saying, I really like your work. I want you to illustrate my children's book. And I'm like, that's cool. I am so grateful that you like my work and all that. And I don't know at all how serious they are about this offer. So to judge that and kind of suss it out, I can be like, hey, so if you're serious about this, maybe you can talk to my agent and we could work out a deal. Along with saying I wanted to know more about the book, because obviously I want to know more about the book. But it's one of those things where you can really just kind of throw it to them and be like, hey, can you take care of negotiations? Can you tell them from a business standpoint, from a respected standpoint, exactly what a cost breakdown would look like? And that's kind of stuff it's really hard to do as an artist, to just be like, hey, pay me X amount. This is why. First of all, it takes tons of industry research. Second of all, it they have the clout to say it, and I've heard way too many stories of artists being scoffed at for their prices, which is never fun, and just makes them feel like, am I worth it? And that's not ever cool. But the thing is, agents help you out there. They also can find you work. I had my very first job with Justin not too long ago, like a few weeks ago, and it was super clean. It was basically just, here's the price, here's what they're asking for, are you interested? And then I say yes or no, and then I get in contact with the client, and we just go from there. And it's really not as scary or daunting as I thought it would be. But I have to say, thank you to Lee White, because he got me in the door with Justin completely. Lee was basically just like, hey, here's some of Anna's stuff. Do you think you would want to talk to her? And he's like, yeah, get her in contact with me right now, and I can sign her up. I'm just like, what? It shouldn't be that easy, right? But it was for me. Very, very lucky. Okay, that was a rant. Sorry. Zona says, oh, wait, typed wrong number. I turned 27 in October. Wait, isn't it 26 that the limit is? It was for me. I don't know. Maybe it's changed or something. Forgetting my age already. I constantly do that. I have to remember. I'm 28 now, and it's still not in there. I mean, it was in March, so I guess it's pretty recent, but sometimes I really forget. Or I'm just like, I'm 20 something. Don't ask me. Because age is just a number, and my mind tells me I'm 10 years old. Yes, same. Oh my gosh, same. Long says, I am a pro Dragoonier. Dragoneer. And yeah, multitasking is very hard. I'm sorry. I'm not better at it. Someone says, so many people have left when I give them a bid on animation or design. My least favorites are the ghosters because they don't even let me know if they got the email. Absolutely. At least tell me it's too much. That's a blanket statement for any kind of job. You want to know. Like, it's only useful if you get some information giving you feedback. And that's like my eternal gripe with any system is just like, tell me. But yeah, I saw that actually trending on Twitter. You know, I follow a bunch of artists, so I see these little like trends that happen, and it was people who say like, hey, I love your artwork, can you do this thing? And then they ask like, what's your price? And then the artist says like, well, what's your budget? And they're like, but what's your price? And so the artist tells them, and then they never hear back. It's like, well, you know, maybe if I was interested in the project, that price would, you know, change. Maybe if it was like a really good offer in some other way, because there are other values than money. And so it's just, you know, it takes away that ability to negotiate at all. It's really unfortunate. But on the flip side, I know that people are busy and they don't always have time to explain everything. It's just, you know, in a perfect world, we would always get explanations. Beep. Okay. I think this isn't working up here. Maybe it can't loop in this design. Need a bigger eraser because we're doing sketchy time, fun pants. Sketchy time, funny pants. And then I might do something like adding little, you know, boop boops on the back. What are those called? Boop boops? Just gonna rough them in real quick. Okay. Yeah, I think it reads better, unfortunately. I really like the loop in the tail, but I think with this one it just doesn't work. Maybe I could add a little, like, furry fluff or something at the end, something of interest. Feels too fat, almost. Whoops. Sugar pie, honey munch. I also, I don't want it to be like he's sniffing his butt. We'll see if that's, now that's all I'm gonna see. Just sniffing. Alright, on to the next guy. Let's see here. And for those who are joining or like don't know what we're doing, this is art for a Patreon, a theoretical Patreon tier of higher amount. So I wanted it to be more of a mythical creature, and I chose dragon. But these are just the sketches of it, and I'm gonna figure out. Wait, this is. I'm a dumbo. Sorry, that was the same one. There we go. Wow, I'm on autopilot. You can tell. Dumb girl. Okay. I'm going to start sketching on this one and just overall feel out what I think would help the design. I wanted to add a little bit more flow to this curve. And I also want it to fit with the other guys. Let's see here. Beep. Let's keep these guys at the bottom so that we can see what we're kind of comparing to. See, they all have some kind of straight to them as well. They're a little bit more angular, so I want to kind of incorporate them into this too. But I'm going to read your chat a little bit. I gotta. It pulls me back in. Zona says, at least tell me it's too. Oh yeah, that was the. And then Long says, cry. That's the worst. Lol, it's 26, but our insurance was nice and said that I could. What? Could be in it through 26 and then kicked off at 27. That's amazing. Your insurance is just like, we like you. That's amazing. Long says they're called whoop whoops. You got it right. Yeah, the little bump, 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 bump. Lol. And I like this one's fluffy tail. Yeah, I like it too. I like a lot about this one, but I do feel it's like too rounded compared to the other guys. I mean, they have some round elements for sure, but they also have straights, so I need to work in straights somehow. We'll see. We'll see. Floofy Tail. Did you see that the dragon on Instagram was actually named Floofy by someone? It's goofy because he doesn't really have much floof, but hey, he gets to be Floofy. Maybe, no, I like the bubbly nose. Let's see if we can add some straights on it. No, that looks weird. We'll just see. We'll just see. You know, it's not a hard and fast rule that we have to follow. It's more of a guideline, really. That was my pirate voice, by the way. I do like the loops. James, if you're watching, I'm just gonna maybe have to go with the other dragon. I'm sorry. Oh, there's a straight on the arm. Maybe we can make... No, that one's gotta be... Just keep on being like, straight? No, curve. Sorry, curve. Boom. And then curve it up, and then straight, and then curve. You know, in animation, they have the, like, straight versus curve all the time, and I'm, like, trying to add stuff like that, but it's not going too well. Sugar time, honey bunch. It's like a swash in lettering. What's a swash? That sounds fun. Got a swash. Oh, yes. Some of those names were great, yeah. What was it? Oh, my friend Jacob did one that got a message about. Where's hashtag best friend Anthony? Clearly he's with you because he's your best friend. Oh, Oliver was one of the names. That's so cute. Anthony actually was here today, which is kind of crazy out of all the days he could have been here. Oh my gosh, there's a new one. Noodle. I gotta post that one. Doris McGuffins. That was my friend Jacob, who's just like pro at making up names, obviously. Oh man, they're a good one. Azathoth, destroyer of worlds. Clearly. Look at those eyes. So, yeah, Anthony came over today. He should be tuning in, Anthony. What? But no, he's maybe still stuck in traffic. I don't know. But yeah, he was in town because, well, I mean, he lives in Portland, like the east side of Portland, and I'm on more the west side. And so it takes probably, like, on a good day, 30 minutes to get here. On a bad day, an hour. But he went to a figure drawing class with taught by our previous teacher at the Art Institute, Zavu, who is a fantastic artist. She does mostly oil paintings now, but she used to be an animator at Disney, and she is just a great teacher and was full of knowledge and still is. Anyway, so she's teaching these classes out in Hillsborough here, and Anthony went to the class to learn how to do figure drawing. So he decided, hey, let's hang out a little bit. So he went and took a walk around my neighborhood and checked out all the gardens that are blooming right now. And there's this new house that's been put in. It looks like a very modern style, like Frank Lloyd Wright a little bit. And it kind of sticks out amongst the other ones where it's like a very residential slash rural area, and then there's this one that's just like fancy and it's got palm trees outside, so it looks like kind of Californian. And so yeah, I just had to show him that house because it's only gone up recently and it just got its front yard in. Actually, James and I were taking a walk over there and saw a bunch of people working on it, like construction crew and stuff. And one of them got out of the truck and was like, "Hey," and we were like, "Hey, how's it going? We've been seeing this all go in. It's pretty cool." He's like, "Yeah, we're working overtime right now because this has to be ready by Saturday." That was this Saturday for a wedding. I cannot imagine putting in all of like the yard and trees and everything go down, and you have to have it done for a wedding. It's insane. But they had the wedding, and I hope everything went off without a hitch. I don't know. James and I were like, we totally have to come and crash that wedding. But we totally forgot because it was James's birthday weekend. So missed the train on that one. We should have just, gone to the wedding and been like, you forgot James's birthday? This is now his party. Excuse you. Oh, and then it turned out into a unicorn idea, and then a giant owl. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. Back up. I drew a doodle of myself riding a dragon yesterday, and then a unicorn, and then a giant owl. Oh my gosh. All those things would be amazing to actually ride. I love it. Did you guys see the trailer for Onward that they put out? Because that sounds like we're all on that board of like, what do you call them? Fantasy creatures, dragons, and unicorns, and all that jazz. My one hope for that movie is they make it really magical. I don't want it to all be like, city has taken over Magicville. I was just talking to Anthony about that on our walk. How about that? Long says, clearly not. We still haven't had Oreo breakfast. Oh my gosh, you guys have made so many plans. I don't even know. Ugh. Swashes are those fun designs that go over the letters that make it more decorative looking. Awesome. I love that. Yeah, if I were... I want to get more into lettering and all that jazz, but I think my taste will be mostly made of swashes. Just make it flamboyant and over the top. Yes. Oh, man. Figure drawing is fun. Heck yeah, it is. I should do more of it, as all artists constantly say. Sometimes I just draw people walking on the mall during my lunch breaks. Yes. Okay, life drawing, like from life, I think is the most valuable thing. I know that everybody's like, figure drawing is the apex of all drawing studies and all that jazz, but I think life drawing actually is better, personally. So that's because you see such characters in life and you learn things that you don't learn when you're just looking at a naked person. I should say nude. They always delineate, there's a difference between naked and nude. But I do love figure drawing and I want to do it. Never have time for it. It's not the worst thing in life. It's okay. Haha, start singing happy birthday when they cut the cake. I love that. Just feel like I'm taking over. Oh, man. Yeah, the guy who we were talking to about it seemed a little stressed, so I felt bad for him. Anytime there's like a deadline and you can see somebody else is working on it like real hard, it's just like, oh man, I wish I could channel my energy toward what you're doing. Ugh, but c'est la vie. It was his problem that day. I think weddings have become such a source of stress that I feel bad for almost everyone involved. I think that James and I did the wedding in exactly the way we wanted it to be, which is great. But I feel bad for people that I see doing like more than what they actually want. I don't know why. Society, their family, whatever. But I think most things, if you're asking yourself, is this like worth the stress that it's causing? Most things are like, no, not really. I think I like this guy better, guys. Here, let's move this slightly. Turn this off. I mean, he's cute. Should he have a horn or something? I think he had a horn back here. No. Oh, he had like the little boop boops. He could also have the whoop whoops. Maybe Maybe. What if... no, that makes him look like an alien. Trying to decide what I want out of this guy. And I really want to start painting, so I'm getting kind of antsy for that. Yeah, you know, we could start painting and not worry so much about, like, little details yet. Because, you know, horns, they're just details. It's fine. Okay, so what do you guys think? Is this the winner? It's this guy versus this guy. I think definitely, but that's just my take. Make way for Prince Ali. Anybody see the new Aladdin? Anthony did. He told me his review. Bet you wish you knew what it was long. Now we're gonna get in a fight. Okay, let's catch up. Well, you guys vote in the chat. Okay, tell me which one you like, left or right. Animal drawings. Oh my gosh, what? Oh, yes. Okay, drawing animals is so much fun. It is. Every time I go to the zoo, I always do it. Although the crowd start watching me draw instead of the animals, it's a little odd. Lol. Like, when did I become part of the zoo? When you sat down, okay? You're offering yourself up. No, it's always awkward to draw in public, I think. But I love drawing at the zoo. I very rarely do it because I don't usually plan going to the zoo very long. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to the zoo, and I do it. And then I don't have a sketchbook or anything with me, so maybe when I get an iPad, it'll change. But I do love drawing animals. There was this one time that James and I went, I don't think it was on a school thing, it was just us. And there was this orangutan who just like hung out forever in front of this window, just basically showing off, being like, oh, you like this pose? You like this pose? Ooh, what about this one? You know? And it was just like, I love it all. I will draw you all day long. He had so much personality and sat still so well. Okay. Studio Long says, Zona, this is why I have a pet tortoise, so you can just draw it all day long. I can draw animals without people gawking. That's the best. But I can't own an eagle. It's illegal to even own a feather. No way. That I found on the ground and didn't know it was from a bald eagle. Oh, wow. That's crazy. I don't have the space to house a dolphin. Goals. Just get a tank. That's one day you'll have your own dolphin. There's always room for a dolphin. Clearly. I'll just become part of that weird experiment that teaches dolphins to speak English. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Is there really one of those? Because, hot damn, where do I sign up? Swash Dragon! Yeah. Clearly best friend Anthony is, hashtag best friend Anthony is slacking on maintaining my and his friendship. I mean, he's a busy guy, although right now he's got some free time, so you should really just message him and be like, yo, what up? Where my Oreo at? Zona says, one time I was drawing in Vietnam on the beach and the crowd was pretty big. It was weird. Oh, I just saw Anthony come online. You're going to see him in a second. I bet you. Yeah, Anthony, I see you watching. We've been talking about you quite a lot. I hope you appreciate this. Oh, man. That's awesome that you got to draw in Vietnam, though, Zona. Oh, my gosh. I like that. Fun because I don't think they had ever seen that I was drawing the people swimming, but weird being watched. Yeah, it's never going to get not weird. But, I mean, when you have the opportunity to draw something in life, you got to take it and just feel like, you know what? Whoever's watching, go ahead and watch. It's fine. Best friend, or hashtag best friend Anthony says, I saw an ad for dragons. Dragons. Just dragons. Have some dragons. Here's an ad for them. An Elder Scrolls game, I think. Well, thank you for coming, best friend Anthony. Who's best friend? We'll find out. And guys, none of you voted of which dragon you wanted. Come on. I give you one task. One task. I think the dragon on the right. That's me personally. You guys got to tell me what it... Oh, wait, Zona, you voted? Where? Oh, Swash Dragon. You're supposed to say left or right. Left or right. But, okay, I get you. Well, Anthony, you just joined, so you have to vote right now. Do it now. Type it in. Anthony, you're playing Overwatch. Priorities. How dare you? One on the left. Okay, guys, just disown him. He's doing it wrong. Robo says no butt sniffing. I love it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no butt sniffing allowed. I agree. We're going with right, Anthony. Or as Zona likes to say, a Swash Dragon, because she's fancy. No left or right for me. I have to be original. Okay, let's get to... First, I'm going to put it at the right size for these guys. And I'm generally trying to keep the banner theme going on the bottom. So I'm going to put it right there. I think that's a good size. And this file is pretty big. Let's see how big it is. Boop. 11 by 11, 300 DPI. It's pretty big. It's not like the biggest I've ever used, but you know. Alright. Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns. Ooh. Did they send me daughters when I asked for sons? You're a spineless, pale, pathetic lot, and you haven't got a clue. How could I make a man out of you? How? I'm never gonna catch my breath. Okay, I'm not singing. Guys! And Anthony apparently peaced out because he's playing Overwatch. God, that guy. What's wrong with him? Long says, Anthony, you're great, but you're wrong. This hurts me as much as it hurts you. It's wrong. Zona, if you look down at the bottom, I think it tells your total layers. Don't expose me like that. Every time you make a new layer, it tells you which one it is, right? So I just made layer 95. Is that too many? I wouldn't know. It's fine. Whatever's there is fine. Zona says okay. I do that a lot, and then I see 84 layers and remind myself to save. Control S. Thank you. Always save. Always. If this ever just like blacks out and suddenly there's no stream, it means I crashed. That would be so sad. But honestly, this computer is handling it like a champ. Go HP. Whoop whoop. You really built me a dream machine. Robo says, Overwatch is fun, so I can't blame. Overwatch is fun, but I mean, come on, isn't this more fun? We're painting dragons here, even though it's just a sketch. It's a dragon. Guys. And I'm his best friend. Why can't he be here for his bestie? No, I don't blame him at all. I'm annoying. Oh, Anthony says he's at 20 HP. Ah! Anthony, you should start streaming your Overwatch so we could have it simultaneously. How cool would that be? Come on. I think my biggest file was like 115 layers. We're almost there. We're gonna get there, Zona. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I've had up to multiple hundred at work before. It is disgusting. Sorry, I'm trying to find that background yellow that I used on these guys, because I do that like... Oh my gosh, Windows button. You can go die in hell. Sorry, guys. Oh, sorry if that was really loud. That might be really loud on your end. Here, I'm going to turn off. Beep. Sure. I'm going to go for this. We can change it later, right? Alright. Let's do big swaths now and be messy. This is a dragon I'm gonna paint, and it's gonna be a cutie. Yeah. I really want to read the chat while I'm painting, just because this is such like a boring part where you're just like swash, swash, swash. Hey, swashes! Like the tail. It's the swash dragon. Perfect. Beep. But I can't read the chat and do this. It's gonna get messy. So now that I'm done, let's see. Overwatch is fun. Blah 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 blah. Okay, Anthony says, "Are you guys saying one of Anna's drawings is bad? You're all wrong." Clearly, it was a butt sniffing dragon. Okay, we can't have that. Whether it looks amazing or not, which clearly it did. Come on. So it says, "I want a new Apple computer to do all the animation things." Yeah. That was the new one that they just came out with, right? The like big hefty boy. I don't know. I'm firmly in the Windows category for most of my hardcore stuff just because it can be updated, and I need to be able to upgrade. I don't want to buy a new computer every so many years. Speaking of which, my Apple laptop is still chugging away pretty well. It's doing like, it can play YouTube videos, sometimes at 1080p, but it's nothing compared to this HP computer. Like, it's definitely the workhorse I need. Robo says, true, he's missing out. Oh, so sad. Zona says, but I'll need to sell a lot of art to get that. Yeah, they're probably really expensive, I'm guessing. I don't know, Prius, do you? Long says, I'm saying one of them is more amazing than the other. Duh. Anna, that's me. Hey, when did they move your... SBS Class 2. That should be in September, so it's quite a wait. But until then, there should be a class per month, something like that, being released. Or maybe every few months. I am really not sure. They described the new, like, rollout system to me, but honestly, I took in, like, 2% of it, and I'm kind of gonna be like, as we get closer to the date that they said, like September, I'm gonna be like, so, like, what was that again? Can you re-explain to me what your rollout program is? The exciting part is, though, that they were saying maybe they'd get a videographer who can splice together all of the content. So instead of me having to edit the video, I can just give them videos and say, like, I want this image superimposed over this part. Like, oh my gosh, that would save so much time. I would be very happy about that. Zona, in September, I'll be in Canada. Well, I mean, Canada's awesome. That's great. I don't know the exact day, if that's like, I don't know, are you taking a trip there for like a little while, or is it going to be like, oh yeah, all month long I'm in Canada? And if so, just hop on a computer and we can have fun together. Long says, lol, so I remember 6 months ago when you told me stuff. That would be great. Editing hours of recording sucks. Yeah. So, yeah, 6 months ago, I'm never gonna remember anything like that. Sorry. And, the editing is definitely the part that takes over all of the effort. And that's not where the effort should go when you're a teacher. That being said, they might not get a videographer or whatever you call that, an editor. It should just be an editor, right? But I think that, you know, it'll work out at whatever way it works out. By the way, I got a new mug when I was in New York. This is Stitch. I don't know if you guys can see it because I'm currently covering myself on OBS. There we go. Okay. Look at him. He's so cute. Oh my gosh, that stage boy. I technically got it for James, but I've been using it for like the last week. So who's it really for? I don't know. Oh, Anthony, we lost. I'm so sorry. No. I'm so sorry. You poor boy. You're so good at Overwatch. You are so good. You're the best Moira I've ever seen. Ooh. Long says, in September, I am going to be on a Design Recharge podcast. What? That's awesome. I love it. And then hopefully you hit up Grand Teton National Park to see the leaves change. That sounds amazing. I've never heard of that park. But I'm really bad at the East Coast. Like, I know nothing. But, why did I assume East Coast? I guess because you said leaves change, I thought of Vermont. I just assumed a lot there. Where is it? I'd love to know. And then Zona says, I didn't even have to edit that much on my old job, at my old job, but sometimes I'd have to watch an hour-long video to get quotes and find Instagram stories. That is a rough thing where it's just like, Gotta go through hours now. See you on the other side. I'm gonna be insane. uh, Long says, present thief. All presents for him or I are both of ours. Okay, I can steal what's his and he can steal what's mine. It's fine. Anthony says, a golden dragon. What tier is this for? Well, I mean, if you're a true fan, you'd already know. No, this one is, first of all, this is just the background. And second of all, this is for the mythical 4th tier that doesn't exist yet. It's technically theoretical, and it is, I think I'm going to start with like green. We can change this later. It is going to be either doing a paint over of somebody's piece, so it would be like a new layer with paint over plus a text layer describing why it made those changes. And then the other option that it could be is making like a little trophy or avatar commission of the person or a character that they want done. So it would be like 45-50 range kind of thing. And it'd be kind of outside of the normal realm of what the page is going to be about, because the normal stuff is going to be mostly about making stories and writing them together, as well as making the artwork for it. So this is going to be kind of a little deviation off of that, but still something I really want to offer people, because first of all, I love painting over people's stuff, and I would love to do commission style stuff too, because I feel like that might be in high demand, possibly. Got that idea from James. He actually was watching a YouTuber who is also, I think it was an animator on YouTube, and at the end of their animations they'd have little like trophies or sprites of patrons, and they would be at the end of every video, and I thought that was really cute. But it's all about what people want to see. Another idea of the page is basically I'm offering everything that I would like to offer. You guys get to choose what of those you like. That's the idea with the stories, where it's like a poll, but all of things that I would love to draw. So it's not going to be something I'm against doing. That'll be my challenge, is to make sure that everything is exactly what I want to do. Because what's the point otherwise? I'm just doing work I don't want to do again. Alright, we've got a green dragon in. We're gonna play with the colors, I think. And now I'm kind of feeling Haku colors, like a little opalescent white, where it's got like a lot of very pale kind of purples and yellows in there, and then having maybe a blue accent, possibly. Hey, Andre. Hello, welcome to the stream. All right, well, I'm going to catch up on the chat real quick. We're painting a dragon. And then, okay, let's see. Long says, now we have your full attention, because he lost at Overwatch. Andre, to catch you up, Anthony is my best friend, and he's playing Overwatch right now, and he refuses to watch our dragon content, and so we have to rip on him as much as possible. Studio Long says it's south of Yellowstone. Maybe I misspelled. I totally don't know what park it is, so I wouldn't know if you misspelled. But that's awesome. I really want to go to like every national park possible, and I have gone to maybe 2. I don't know. Zona says, even editing my reel is not fun. I would much rather make video from scratch. Or I just would rather make videos from scratch. Absolutely. I feel like editing is something that is beautiful when done well, and I just... Do you ever feel like you kind of get more careers as you go along, where it's like, oh, not only am I drawing for a living, I am also a business owner. I am also like an expert in insurance now, thanks to the insurance system. Now I'm a video maker. Now I stream on Twitch. Like, it's just, it keeps piling up, and I feel like editing is very much like that, where it's like, okay, so when do I just say no? When do I say I can't do that? And save your time for the thing that you really are passionate about doing. Some people, thank goodness, are very passionate about editing, and I would love to just hire them if I ever had money. But, c'est la vie. Anthony says, rude! I'm doing the highest tier I can. You are a true fan, and I shouldn't, put you down, but I have to because you're my friend. And thank you so much for joining my Patreon. I will make it worth it. Oh, man. Long says Haku, and hi Andre. Sona says, I do all the things as a solopreneur. Solopreneur. Yes, you just kind of have to at some point, which is, you know, I enjoy doing other things sometimes, but other times it's like, can anyone else help me out, please? But I would rather just do the motion design and illustrations. Yeah, I think especially at like the higher point in our careers, we'll find a point where it's like, okay, I can actually hire people to do this. I can make this load a little bit easier to bear. All right, I'm going to put this on a darker background so that we can see what's going on. Just for now. I don't plan on keeping this all white. But I do want to kind of follow that that little feeling of making it opalescent a little bit, because I think that would be really cool, especially with the scales. Because with scales, you can go really overboard with like busy texture. And so finding a way to make it feel like, okay, there's a lot of information going on here, but it's not overwhelming your eye. I think that a good way to do that would just be having it all be very similar tone, at least personally. But we're going to experiment here. That's why I'm doing it super quick and rough. And usually I would zoom this out like 10 times more, but I want you guys to not be looking at a stamp size thing at the moment. All right, so I'm basically going to go through a bunch of different colors and just dab them in here. And they're very, very light, so if you can't see them on your monitor or something, it might just not be sensitive enough to see it all at the moment. And definitely like a yellowy orange. Let's look at opal. Opal. Dinosaurs. Dinosaur's bones shimmering with opal reveal a new species. That's amazing. I like that. I like big butts and I cannot lie. Sorry, I had to. Okay. Obviously, you're getting like a rainbow amount of color here, but I'm thinking most apparent to this is like a background tone of blue to orange, that kind of transition. So we could do the belly as the orange and the back as the blue, that kind of thing, because I was talking about that earlier. And then hitting it with some like really hot greens and yellows and see what that looks like. What do you guys think? What do you think? Sorry if I'm talking really annoyingly. I had some chai today, so I'm a little caffeinated. Plus Anthony came over, so I'm jazzed. Life is great. Long. I just want to draw pictures. Cry. Yeah, that's, you know, when they ask you as a kid, like, what you want to be, you think, like, they ask it because, you know, you can get there, right? And all I want to do is draw, so why can't just people let me draw? But hey, we make it work eventually. Alright, I'm going to make that orange a bit strong. Still want to keep it generally like pastel-y. But again, this is just an experiment, so we're seeing where it brings us. I'm just going to ignore the rest of it and do a little experiment right here. So hot greens. Let's see what that looks like. Some saturation. I think it needs to be lighter. Maybe a little more yellow. Is that weird? Might be a little weird, but we're going for it. I feel like it needs more of a purpley blue. Like a periwinkle. Ooh, it's crisp on the dark background though. It should be a peridot color or peridot, depending on how you say it. I don't know. Ooh, flashbacks to role-playing in high school with my dragon characters. I need to do more writing. Yes, we all do. And McCaffrey Pern vibes. No idea who or what that is. I am on board, Long says. Maybe try putting the brush on overlay or multiply. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. It might make some fun colors that are similar. Yeah. Dragons of Pern. I have never heard of that. Okay. Yeah, let's do an overlay layer. See what kind of crazy funky stuff we come up with. And you guys are getting to see the messy goodness, so hopefully you like it. Yeah. Okay, my favorite part of that is the how it changes over the different colors. So that was a good call. Very good, very good. Not so much over the lighter colors. That's good to know. And it might change as it goes back. Like we could tell the depth of the tail going behind the front part of the body by how pale it gets back there. So, hey, it can be whatever it wants to be. And let's try out like a purpley color and see what kind of vibe that gives us as well. Oops, is that on the overlay layer? Huh. Did not react how I thought it would. Yeah, it's like not showing through as much. Interesting. Live and learn, you know? Yeah, I think, okay, so the painting over color, like the one that we're using on the overlay layer, needs to be somewhat light. That's what I'm learning. Maybe we'll just save that for like little touches. So I think of like a mama papa baby situation. Mama papa baby? There we go. I said it right. Okay. So what I mean by that is that the papa's the biggest, mama's the middle, and then the baby's the smallest. So what I'm trying to do is like not use all the colors in equal amounts, using one in the most like overbearing amount. Like, okay, this one's the most of the color, and then from there going less and then less. So I think the mama papa baby of it. Such a weird term. Thank Za for that, by the way. The person that Anthony's getting the figure drawing class from. She always said, Mama, Papa, Baby. Oops, this is... There we go. Okay. I'm going to make this paler as it goes back because I do like that idea. Deep, deep, deep. Deep, deep, deep. And we might, well, we want the orange in there still, but we want it in what way? In what circumstance? Let's see here. I have the Doug song stuck in my head. Like do 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 do. See in the sketch. So I'm gonna sketch out real quick what side is the underside. So like this to me is underside. We could go under the arm. And then back here, let's go, and then this is underside. So you can see all this area. It's going to be under, and then we'll go like that. Does that look like it makes sense? Hopefully. Okay, now we have like a little bit more of a roadmap. Like right here, I know that the arm is going to come out. Well, that's cute, having like little white paws, like he has socks on or something. Aww. Cute dragon, tear people apart. His ear could have it like on the overside, the anti-underside. Oh man, dragons and perm, dragons with perms. I'd watch that. Ooh, so curly. I imagine the girl from Legally Blonde with like a dragon face. So good. Ooh, that's so nice. Lol, dragons with perms remind me of llamas and hats. Yes. Oh, your pup has sock paws. That's so cute. I always wanted a dog with little socks. Or a cat, of course, you know. A pet. Does he kind of look like a caterpillar with a big eye and a scarf billowing behind him? Oh, I see it. Okay, we're drawing that. In case you didn't see it, here's the head of the caterpillar. Here's his eye. And he is This is his body, and he just like walks along on his little legs. Deep, 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 deep. And he wears a fashionable scarf. Yes. Yes. Oh, yes. Looking so good. What's his name? Oh, what's his name? And he wears glasses. Don't know where they connect back here. He smiles because he's a good boy. Yeah, no longer are we drawing dragons, people. Done! Oh, I love it. Oh, no, he needs, like, segments, though. Don't you think? Gotta make him a regular. That scarf looks awkward. But, yeah. Anyways. Let's get back to business. Oh my gosh, it's so light. I still need it to read on a light background, though. So I might have to darken this. Now it's time for adjustment layers. All of our favorites. Not curves, I want levels. Give me those levels, boy. Those levels. Is it too, like, what's the word? If I spoke a second language, this is me. It would be okay for me to forget words as often as I do, but I don't. So I should know more words. Anyways, is it reaching too far to make this an opal dragon? Is that too much? Are we giving ourselves too much work? Okay, let's see. I thought you were asking for somebody's Wi-Fi in the chat. I'm like, whoa, okay. But no, Long says, do you have a Newfie? I always see one on your Instagram story. Oh, it's a burner, so similar, but not quite. Oh, I love, what do you call him? Bernese Mountain Dogs, right? That's what burner is short for. And he has a butt crown, lol. Yes, we forgot to add butt crown. King. Okay, I do want a Newfie though. It's so funny that it's called Newfie, Newfoundland. It's also like a weird Pokemon. I like that. One of the newer ones. Oh yes. It is. A Pokemon is really stretched what a Pokemon is anymore. If it's a new one, you gotta morph it into a common household object. Exactly. Try pulling the yellows down, like, yeah. Like a trash bag, or keys, or ice cream, or a running nose. Oh, so ridiculous. I think I'd balance the blue. Yep, Bernese Mountain Dog. Haha, nailed it. I got to know Bernese Mountain Dog through some of Anthony's coworkers. She was the cutest and is the cutest. She's on Instagram. Frey is cray cray. Super cute. I think I'll balance the blue. Yep. Okay. He's beautiful. Oh, I want to see your dog. I'll have to check that out after the stream for sure. Okay, let's do a little bit of color balance. Our favorite. And, you know, we don't have to keep anything. We can leave anything at the door, whatever we feel like. Oh, what you say? Oh, did you mean that well? Of course you did. What you say? And yeah, this is gonna push the yellows out of, or I mean the whites, like the lighter parts, out of whack. But that's okay. If we have to change everything, that's okay. And it also saturates it, so no worries. We're just playing. I'm gonna just boop. Where did that come from? Oh, it was because of the, yeah, okay. I know what you did. I know what you did there. Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to push the yellows a little bit darker. Yeah, okay. Now I'm going to duplicate it, and just for funsies, I'm going to make a few colorways just to see what we want to do. But actually first on this one, I'm going to resolve some of this back here. And I'll still keep the lighter paws, but I don't know in what respect. Like, I need to mess with it a little bit. Maybe this guy will go a little darker. And we can bring back the overlay layer again anytime we want. It's just playtime right now, so we don't have to worry about it at the mo. Oh yeah, and there's a leg back here. Everybody forgot about the leg, right? Nobody remembers it. It's the forgotten leg. Yeah, give him a lighter foot. Hey. Okay, this is something. It looks a little psychedelic and a little all over the place, but we're gonna keep going. Alright, let's make a teal dragon. Why not? Make his underside a little lighter. I really do like doing the underside thing. Maybe I'll get tired of it someday, but it is not this day. Windows button. Oh. Boom. Now we're gonna use another layer, and we're gonna make a darker thingy. Let's go green. Yeah. Yeah. Why not? Alright, what I wanted to do was make some kind of like patterning, possibly. Mark making. Now he looks really lizardy, don't you think? Aw, she's pretty and takes fun photos. Better photos than me. It'll always be better than you. Like, dogs just look better than humans. I'm sorry. Anthony says, that song is copyright. Reported! Thank you, Anthony. Zona says, lol. Anthony is a true best friend. Doesn't tattle. True. How dare. Ooh, that periwinkle. He's giving me Space Planet vibes. Ooh, I like that. Kind of looks like an otter. Oh, Anthony, you hear that? He loves otters. His Patronus is an otter. But I'm digging this somewhat. I think we're gonna have to do 3 colorways and choose between them by a vote, because it's all about voting. Haha. Mine's a gray mare, I believe. Ooh, gray mare. Fancy. Oh, the wind is blowing. Can you see? Feels so nice. It's been such a beautiful day here. Alright, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Hair. Hair, there. There, hair. Does that do anything? Is that working for you? I don't think so. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Let's move on. All right. All right, let's go for a warm colored one just to see what happens. Actually, this reminds me of an old piece of mine. Let's look it up. this one, where it's like a red dragon that's all long and has the whoop whoops, except they're sharp whoop whoops. They're more like wee wee. Alright, yeah, there's my face. Okay. Oh, no, Windows, what are you doing? Okay. There, now you can see him. Oh, well, it goes away anyway. Whatever. But oh, Zona says it kind of looks like an otter. Yeah. Like my Halloween costume when my mother made it. Ooh, apparently I was specific, and I couldn't just be a horse. I had to be a dapple gray mare. Oh my gosh, you're a horse girl. I love it. Child Kendall was very specific. The gold one could be like in Pern, where the mother and leader dragons are gold. Ooh. What is this Dragons of Pern? Let us look it up. Dragons I can spell of Pern. Not perm. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. I love dragons, guys. They're so cool. The white dragon. See, everything that's white, like, it goes two colors in the shadow and stuff like that, so it feels like it always has that kind of opalescent quality, a little bit more than just being white. I wish I could paint stuff in multichrome. I've never done that, and I find it would probably be like a nightmare. Oh my gosh, dragons are cool. Fantasy! It's the best! I love it. Okay. Oh, whoa, this just took over my whole monitor. Oh, there we go. I would build my whole fantasy world around dragons and have many useless jobs involving them in that world. I'm a dragon groomer. Oh, I'm a dragon tamer. I'm a dragon cook. I'm a whatever. Hey, classy bathrobe. Welcome to the chat and the stream and all the stuff. I love your name. It's goofy. We're painting dragons and getting nowhere, but hey, it's gonna work out anyway. So, since there was, well, okay, the problem with having a gold dragon is that I have this yellow background on all the other characters. So would that break continuity with them? Would it feel like... Okay, here's what we should do. We have 3 colors of characters down here in general. So we have, in general, blue bird. In general, purple rodent. In general, reddish fox. So those 3 colors, let's consider those taken. Now on the color wheel we have green left, which makes sense for a dragon. We have orange-ish. I mean, I don't know if that's off limits because of the gold in the background. And then, what is the other one? Green, orange. I can do colors. I guess, yeah, we've got basically everything, right? Roy G. Biv. I don't know, I go with more simplified than Roy G. Biv anyway. So, I think we should go green, honestly, to kind of balance out with the other characters. I think it would be a best lineup if we had something that was green. And now that I'm looking at the patterning on these guys, like the darker wing on the bird and the darker feet on the fox and things like that, they aren't crazy patterned or colored. It's not like the opalescent, like, oh, there are spots everywhere and stuff like that. So I'm thinking we should simplify it a little bit. Is everybody okay with that? Green dragon? Does everybody follow along with that reasoning? Hopefully. Zona says, I even went down to dragons being the equivalent to toy dogs. Oh my gosh. There was a character at one point that carried around one dragon that was super angry and judgy. I love it. Oh my gosh. It more than once tried to bite people's fingers off. I think green or that yellow is pretty nice. I like it. And then Long says, I like it. Okay, cool. As long as you guys are on board. Oh my gosh. I think you are the kind of kid I would totally be friends with as a kid. That is awesome. I had this one friend who swore she was a witch in elementary school, and we were like besties for a while. Okay. Let's get down to this business and make a green dragon. Actually, we can probably use this and just point it more towards the green direction. Wow, did you guys hear that dog just bark outside? It was like... It's okay. I wasn't laughing at its pain. I think it was just barking because it saw something. That's pretty cool. I think I'll rethink this patterning because I don't want it to be too lizardy, but I like the coloring. So, boop, let's start paint. Oh my gosh, Windows button. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you so bad. Okay. Darker. Yeah, definitely darker. Is it okay if he has... Oh, whoops. This is on the wrong layer. Dark feet instead of light feet. I know that's not like your burner, but could it be a thing? Could maybe be a thing. Anthony says, I like the one on the left. How dare you? Sona says, my friends and I used to LARP before it was a thing. Oh, yeah. Carried on the same characters and stories from 3rd grade to 5th. Wow, that early? That's amazing. And even played it during the summer. I was that kind of kid. You mean dedicated and full of fun and story and laughter? Ugh, that's so cool. I think if I had known what LARPing was, I would totally have done it as a kid. But, Anthony didn't introduce me to it, so, I mean, clearly it's his fault. And still am, lol. Less LARPing, more novel writing, though. Same spirit. Absolutely feel that. Alright, I think we're gonna do some stripey bits on this guy and call it good with that. And then I'll start adding in some of the characteristics. This is basically how I went about painting all these guys, is I got like the general stuff in there before I went into detail. I didn't like clean it up right away at all. Let's get our pencil brush out. And these guys just had like a really dark version of their colors as their eyelash tone. Eyelash placement is key. It really isn't. You just kind of put it there. See if it feels right. I gave them little eyelashes, so I'm going to give you little eyelashes. Boop. Dun, dun, dun. And then you see all of these luscious colors and details in these guys came from just like little lines and hatches of different color. I also went over them with a soft light layer so that they had more depth of color overall. So I'll definitely do that on this guy, but I also want to do something to delineate layers on him to see that this is behind that, if you can see my gesturing at all. Oops. So I'm thinking... Wow, I can really I can really hear how nasally I sound. There we go. I am still hanging on to the vestiges of cold that got me when I came back from vacation. So sorry about the nasal phlegmage. It's just the way I am. You gotta deal with it. Quick, name that show. I know Anthony knows. For now, this is going to be my way of showing that, but it might change in the future. In fact, I know it will. Alright, I'm going to collapse these guys. Not going to work, eh? Alright, saving, because that was just laggy for a second, and it makes me nervous. Guys and dolls. It's always Anthony's fault, yes. Oh, man. Oh, should have applied to do that for the summer camp job. Oh, really? LARPing? Or writing? Which one? Long says it's always Anthony's fault, and that is so true. We have a roleplay summer camp here in Boulder that older kids lead, and we get foam swords. Sweet! Oh my gosh, I want to play with foam swords. And then you get to tell stories at kids' B-Day party. Oh my gosh, that's so cool! I love it. Should have done that. I want to go to that camp. Anthony says, Naruto, what? I like ninjas. Sure, whatever you're saying, sure. Time for more Stitch water. Oh, Anthony, you're not caught up because you're playing Overwatch. I get it. We're just talking about you and you're not here. It's fine. Okay. I'm gonna start cleaning up this dragon a little bit. If I can touch the right buttons, which I can't. B. There we go. B for brush. Oh my gosh, Windows key. Is it its fault or my fault? Vote. I want some nice brushy marks on the side of this belly tone. What would you call that? And I'll probably, I don't know. I'm thinking about what kind of marks I'm going to add to this later. I just want to clean it up a tiny bit before I get into the mark making. Thank you guys for being back, by the way. I know it's been a long time, but you guys were on top of it. Like, hey, I'm here, by the way. Real quack, and I appreciate it. Alright, let's get into business. Oh, actually, what I'm going to do is that color, or soft light layer, I'm going to start doing that. So basically, hey, it's lucky that these guys are up. I'm going to take some colors and just kind of swash it in there. And they could totally be in the wrong parts. That's fine. I'm probably going to color over them later anyway. And if anything's in the wrong area, you just have to kind of trust yourself to know that. Where it's like, at some point, you'll look at this piece and be like, I don't like that purple there. That's not working. And 9 times out of 10, you will catch it. And if not, you'll just learn more for the next piece. It's fine. I think the hesitation to make marks is what kills pieces more than making the wrong marks, basically. A bunch of crazy guys and dolls. Oh, I'm gonna give him a little blush too. It's gonna be so cute. I'm into it. See, this is giving us a little bit of that color stuff that we liked from the Opal one, right? It's giving me vibes. Oh yeah, that blue. And I absolutely love this brush. This is one of Kyle Webster's, the Bristle Balm brush. I'm super excited for his new ones to come out. He's got like a summer drop or whatever he's going to be doing for it, and I'm ready. Speaking of which, I just got his children's book. When I was in New York for 99U, he was one of the speakers, Kyle Webster was, and he talked about some of the process of basically like major things that have happened in his life due to boredom, which was a great talk in general. It was just about like letting yourself take the time to be bored and to like let your mind wander, and how that can be some of the best idea creation time that you spend. So it's not as much of a waste of time as people want you to think. And anyways, his book was for sale at the bookstore there, and so I went out to buy it, and he was right there, and I was like, oh my gosh, can I please get a signed copy of your book? And he was like, yes, but no, because they ran out, because he sold so well at 99U, which is just amazing. So I got a copy of it sent to me, and he autographed this like little slip of paper and did a little doodle of the character from the book on it. So good. So I have it right here. Haha. Please Say Please. It's a wonderful little book about, it was great because it came from this real situation where he was at a park and he heard this little girl come up to her mom and say, I want fish, and then her mom gave her some goldfish and she ran away, and Kyle was just like, I did not like that interaction one bit. So he decided, he didn't really decide, he mulled it over, where it was like he couldn't stop thinking about this moment and was just like kind of irked by it. And then one time when he was like waking up, kind of, he heard in his head, I want fish, and then he said, please say please and I will grant your wish. And that's exactly what the book starts out with, is this girl saying, like, I want this, I want that. And a man shows up and says, I will grant your wish if you just have manners. Like, if you just use your words. And I absolutely love the book. It's super charming. And as always, his illustrations are just so whimsical and wonderful. Plays with a lot of different styles in it, which is one of those things that I greatly enjoy. Somebody feeling like they can have creative freedom on a project. Oh, you can feel it. Whereas just like, oh, they liked doing this. It's great. Anyways, I will read the chat now. Ha 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 ha. I disabled my Windows key. It's useless. I need to do that on mine real bad. I wish I could make it Alt, because that's almost like 99% of the time I'm trying to go for Alt. Saving, by the way. If you guys are working on anything right now, save it. Oh my gosh, Kyle! Oh, Kyle Bearlocker's in the chat. Is that how you say your last name? I think Bearlocker. But hey, Kyle, what's up? Okay, Zona says, you know what's weird is that kind of looks like a better version of my fursona from middle school. Oh my gosh, are you having like flashbacks? Yes, like a way better version. Kyle, how is Hawaii? He asks. And hi. It's been forever, Kyle. Oh my gosh. So Kyle went to school with me at AI, and I mean, I don't know. I haven't really talked to you much since then. It's so sad. But yeah, Hawaii was amazing. It was like the best thing I could have done for myself. Sorry, there's a truck outside if you can hear it. But, it was full of inspiration, so much relaxation, very humid, but I kind of got used to it along the way. And I got to stay at my uncle's Airbnb, which I had no idea he had until I went to New York and talked to my other uncle. And he was like, you know what you should do? Go take a vacation in Hawaii at Bob's place. And I was like, Bob has a place? So we hopped on that, and it was Anthony, James, and I, my mom, and my brother. And we all went and just had a ball. And then later in the week, our friend Corinne also came. So we were like quite a troop. And we rented a van and went around the entire island and loved it. I think one of the highlights was definitely the botanical garden in Hilo. Do not miss it. If you ever go to the Big Island, go to that particular place, because it is awe-inspiring. Like, I know there are places in the world that are just drop-dead gorgeous, but it's just one of those things that, like, it boggled my mind how beautiful something could be. And it was just like, oh my gosh, this is our world? What? Plus, you just get tons and tons of just new reference of plants and like landscapes that I had never been in before. So yeah, overall the best thing ever. And I learned that like a week is a good time for me, where I'm like, I kind of get homesick after a while and I want to be back in my like on my couch or whatever. And you know, I don't want to have too little time to feel like I didn't explore. So a week is like kind of that sweet spot. I could probably go a week and a half, but you know. Anyways, oh my gosh. Long says, I didn't know he had a kid's book. Zona, that's every single car ride for me, how I came up with my 4 novel ideas. Oh my gosh, yes. Car rides are a really good time to use for anything. Like Anthony's been listening to audiobooks lately, and that's a perfect way to fill the time also. Lol, haunted by rude little playground girl. Yes, haunted. I love it. Look back at my fursona. It's more of a giant lizard than a dragon. Never mind. Hey man, you do you. Be a little kobold. So cute. Avocado pillow in the background. Ah. Okay, I gotta get it for you guys to see up close. This is actually a gift from Julia Tian, who is the manager for the creative residency. She gave me this little avocado pillow as a gift for my birthday. She's so sweet, and it's got a little smiley face. Oh, avocado! And then these like little spots up here, and then the little stem. I just love it. It's so squishy and cute. Anyways, I love it. It's a cut pillow, Anthony says. Yeah, look at those abs. It's cut. Cute. But I guess also cut. It's distractingly interesting. Lol. Alright, it's gonna sit right here then. All those photos looked fantastic. Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah. Oh, wait, you guys can't see him. He's gotta have his day. But yes, those photos I was actually really proud of because I got a new phone like a year ago and I didn't know if it was going to be worth the money. And I'm like, that camera is way worth the money to just have better memories. I had such a bad camera on my old phone because it was like a $50 phone. So worth it, in my opinion. And he says, Anna, throw that pillow out. It's distracting your viewers who are here to watch you talk. Hey, is that shade? Are you saying I'm not drawing? How dare you? I love talking to you guys. This is my time to socialize. Like, Anthony coming over was the first time I've had somebody come over since I got home. So it's necessary sometimes. There's our buddy. He stays with us. Cute. Okay. Zona says, I want to go to Hawaii. Do it. And some airports in Hawaii are more expensive than others. So just, like, try to find the cheapest one, I guess. It's still a hefty sum, for sure. But it's really worth it. Anthony says, I'm working on it. Purple heart. That means, not so much. Anthony, I know you're working on it. Just make an effort and everyone will appreciate it, right? That's all it takes. Zona says, oh my god, it's so cute! And cut. It's everything. Kyle, man, that sounds awesome. Glad you're able to relax for a bit. Also tell James he needs to call me one of these days. Oh my gosh, yes. We need to all, like, video chat or something. I actually just did that with James Fenner. I did it like a few months ago. But it's good to catch up with people. I really want to see everybody. And yeah, a lot of our AI people have moved down to LA at this point, and Anthony is actually taking a class from Za, so it's like he's an AI right now. Pretty amazing, right? Even though AI is gone. But it is what it is. I'm actually glad it's not taking advantage of people anymore, but it's kind of sad to think we won't have like a reunion or whatever. I don't think they have reunions for college, do they? Is that a thing? I'm just going to start making marks on this layer and see what I think of the colors. I do like stealing the colors from these guys because I've already done the work. Why do it twice? It looks a bit blurry. Maybe I have this pen too big. Yeah, I think I just did multiple marks on the other ones. Zona, I need to go to Japan too. You know, Anthony might be going to Japan soon. Or is, right? Did you guys plan it yet? I don't know. But I agree. Japan is a must. Oops. Kyle says, yes, we do. I talk to James Fenner every day. Oh my gosh. Every day is a lot of dedication. Good job. But yeah. And Phil is down in LA too. I just remember that. Our old crew, you know, we're all split all over the place. And Jack Watson got married, and, well, so did James Fenner. I mean, it's just all crazy. It's all over the place. But, I mean, I miss those nights of, karaoke in the in the basement of the Arthur. Not janky at all. Oh, it was good stuff. Phil busting out Don't Stop Believin' at the top of his lungs. Such good times. And we were just talking about figure drawing earlier and like having to get back like, oh, I should do this, I should do that. I think the best time when I was like most disciplined about keeping on top of all those things that an artist should do was when we were all doing it together. Like making up original stories and drawing stuff together and just being like generally comrades in the trenches of art school. So great. I love it. So when it says, I'm still seeing my persona the more the coloring gets done. Ah, it's just a big old lizard. Oh, I love it. Need to stop looking at DeviantArt pages. Just go back to my Pinterest life. You know, DeviantArt I've heard a lot about lately where it's like coming back and reskinning and stuff like that. Have you guys been on it lately? I gave it up a long time ago just because I wasn't seeing much traction on it, but I think that as far as layouts go for art stuff, it was probably one of the better ones. At least a lot of people I know have gotten really big on it, so it's like something's got to be working, you know? But maybe we'll see a resurgence because there's always upset with the current social media ways of sharing art, where it just doesn't work the best it can. And I'm still on ArtStation. Are you guys on ArtStation at all? I don't know. I know that like a lot of artists flocked to it, but I don't know how many stayed. Obviously, it's more like concept art and video game stuff, especially on the main page. But I do know of some children's book authors and illustrators that are on there as well, which is super cool. And there's no reason not to commingle. Anthony says, still planning it, still for Japan. Lung says, I need more money so I can go cool places. Don't we all? Oh, we talk on Discord while we work, so it's not really the same. Good times. That's awesome. You got a Discord server? I like that. DeviantArt didn't go mobile fast enough. Yeah, with a good app. I'm on ArtStation, but I never use it. I feel like I post and then I leave. Like, I don't talk to anyone there. I don't do anything with it. It's just there as like, here it is if you want to see it. And, you know, as an artist, you always feel like I'm posting everywhere. I'm doing everything. Like, and yet still people are like, where can I find your work? I don't know where to see you. It's like, just Google it, man. And you'll see it all. I think now that I'm seeing like the smaller, sorry, my box just hit the microphone, so that might have been loud. Now I'm seeing it in the Twitch replay. I think it might need more value breakup, like from the foreground to the background. So I think I might make, I'm gonna just zoom out here, make some little changes. The question is, are we gonna go lighter in the background or darker in the foreground? Let's try one and then the other. Make way for Prince Ali. Oh, oh. Oh, you're gonna love this guy, Prince Ali, fabulous he, Ali Ababa. He's got 75 golden camels. Okay, sorry, I'm catching up. I just was jamming a little bit. I'm on Dribbble. I've heard so much about Dribbble, never used it. Same studio long, Zona says, and Behance, of course, because everybody's got to be on Behance. That's another one where I post and then leave it. Mostly use it for chatting on Adobe Live, which I absolutely love. But that's getting worse with every update. Oh, that's unfortunate. Kyle says, I started streaming recently and just got affiliated 2 weeks ago. It's pretty fun. That's awesome. Oh, man, I got to tune in. That's awesome. I need to get a regular stream going, Long says. Mine are more sporadic. Same. I'm like, I could do like I'm going to be here every Friday or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know if that would work with my working style right now. Maybe someday, but at the moment, it's too variable. Zona, Instagram, Twitter, Behance, Pinterest, Dribbble, YouTube, and Twitch are good places for the arts, in my opinion. I need to clean off my computer so I can stream and not kill it. That's a good idea. Where is James? He's in the other room working right now. He's working on some really great stuff for his portfolio, and it's like looking so good. You should ask him about it and just be like, hey, what you been working on? Because it's looking awesome. But yeah, it's just one of those situations where he doesn't like to be on camera, so he's not out here with me. Anthony says, Rip Robin Williams? Why you gotta bring that up? This is my fave. So sad. Oh, because I was singing the song, Prince Ali. Well, also, he was amazing. Not just sad. I keep having to remind myself of that. The other day, James was like looking through streaming stuff, and he was like, oh, you want to watch Jumanji in the background? And I was like, but Robin Williams. And he's like, can't you just watch it and enjoy it? And I'm like, but I'm so sad. And I gotta get over it. Just be like, nope, enjoy the man. He did great work. Can we just talk about the color scheme being the same as my Fursona? Like, I can't get over it. Too much middle school talk. Forget Vimeo. Oh, really? No Vimeo. Yeah, we're going to Lightbox. Whoop, whoop. Anthony's coming with us. James is going to be there. It's going to be a whole thing. You going? Because that would be awesome. We can all get together. I am super in with everybody at Lightbox now. I went to Bobby Chu's birthday party and like met so many people from the industry, and then also, I mean, Bobby Chu is like running Lightbox and everything. I think I might try, if it's a good one this year, I would try tabling next year. I've never done a convention, but I'm hoping to be like at that point next year because I'm going to start in December. It's going to be my first one. Awesome, Kyle, you'll be there. Yeah. All right, vote everybody in the chat who's going to be at Lightbox because I want to see you guys. Like, we can't just miss each other because that would be super cool to like actually meet up. We'll definitely catch each other, Kyle, but that would be awesome. Lightbox is going to be this huge conglomeration of a ton of people. Oh, and then, everybody at Adobe now, I know. So I'm going to go over to the Adobe booth and be like, hey, everybody. Maybe work the booth for a while because I love talking to people. But, yeah, it's going to be like seeing a bunch of old friends, and I'm super excited about it. I'm just going to dig in. I think he needs a lighter underbelly. Let's do it. Let's make the changes. We're going to keep this and this off. And then just collapse. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I just want things to collapse and they don't like to collapse. Okay, let's do slightly lighter, slightly warmer. Even lighter than that. Less saturated. He's got 75 golden camels. It's a world-class menagerie. Prince Ali, Baba. Dun, dun, dun. Show some respect down on one knee. Okay. That looks better to me. I'm gonna turn these boys off for a sec. What more does he need? You know what? Let's save I'm going to go to the top of the file, press Control-Shift-Alt-E. It takes all of the visible layers and flattens them into one new layer. I'm going to Edit, Transform, Horizontal Flip. I'm just going to tweak him a little bit and see what happens. Okay, I think it's not the worst that he's a little bit, like, that transform that I did is not, like, the most important thing in the world. That's okay when he's facing right. I think that what is bugging me is he needs an accent color. That's what I'm thinking. Like, him himself is too green to me. So I'm going to give him maybe a little bit of red. I mean, it's complimentary. Might be a little too complimentary. But let's try it. Maybe an orangey red. Hey, you. Oh my gosh, he's going to turn into exactly this little sculpt. Because he had all green and blue, and then he was, like, too basic, so I added a little bit of orange. Well, you know, we repeat ourselves sometimes. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, okay. I just reread Robin Williams, and I'm sad again. No. Okay. Anthony says, do I know Kyle? Yeah, you should. Yeah. Kyle says, you should, Anthony, because I know you, lol. Kyle was with the crew whenever we did, like, drawing nights and stuff. I mean, what else would you remember him by? Obviously concept artist, but, like, I'm just trying to think of, like, he was friends with James Fenner. We would always see them together, you know? Pink or red would be nice. Or purple. Maybe a flower tail. What? Zona, you crazy. Is this your first Zona? You're like, it's just missing one thing. The flower tail. Oh, I love it. Alright, let's try some color in here. Again, we're just going to dab it around and see. We can do a HueSat change on it and see what kind of stuff comes out of that. Problem is, again, the gold. The gold is going to be a finicky one. That's why I would err away from orange and more towards the red. Little blushy cheek. Maybe it would just be some scales scattered throughout would have that kind of color. Ah, I'm sorry, 7:30. I gotta cut it off sometime soon, guys. Or else James is gonna be like, but what about dinner? We cook dinner together, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to throw off his schedule because I'm streaming. Okay, let's... Somebody's smoking outside. Gross. Gross, gross. Alright, and then let's select it and do a little HueSat. He's got 75 golden camels. I feel like this gets a little too Barney to me, where it's like purple and green. And the more red we get, the more comfortable I am. I like that rusty color. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Oh my gosh, Kyle. I'm super tall. How do you not remember me? I'm super tall. I love it. Maybe a bright blue. Ooh. We ate noodles together, Anthony. It was fond memories. Kyle's crying right now, Anthony. Anthony's playing Overwatch right now, so I mean, he's better than all of us, apparently. Alright, let's try a really light blue for you, Zona. It does not want to be a good blue. There. It's got like edges of purple. It's a little weird. I don't hate it though. Blue plus the green, not the worst. I think the placement would be a little bit different if it were blue. Like, I wouldn't use it as the blush, obviously. That was probably Stephen Least that you're thinking of, Anthony. Stephen Least had longer hair, and Kyle was. You don't ever have longer hair, I don't think. Who was that guy from PCC? I mean, there were a lot of guys from PCC. I don't know. Alright, I'm going to add a little bit of light blue, but I'm going to do it on a separate layer. Who says we only have one accent color? Nobody. I'm going to take it off on the underbelly and just use it on the overbelly. And then put a little bit of blues. Deep, 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 deep. Alright, and then let's bring these back and see what we think. Better, I think. Personally, I like that a lot better. Don't need that as harshly. I'm going to turn this down just a smidge. It's not super overbearing. And then we can get back to lines. And I think I'm going to find a better way to do that lining because I don't want to outline things. So I'm probably going to do it in value instead. But I want to just kind of delineate it on this so that we know where everything is. So it's more like a sketch than actual finished artwork. But that's okay, you know. We do what we can. That's too small. That's too dark. There we go. Oh, somebody is really smoking outside. It's ruining everything. How dare you? I yelled at them. I'm getting brash, guys. I'm getting so brash. I think I'll probably do this in value as well instead of line. But since I'm going to be signing off soon, I wanted you guys to see something a little bit closer to what it's going to be when it's final. I might do another stream of this, I might not, so it just depends on how I feel about it. And let me know if you guys ever want to see a particular thing in a stream or something like that, or it's like, where'd that dragon go? But this one doesn't need to be done right now. It was more for fun and to get back into the stream stuff with you guys, so I didn't want to, I don't know what I was saying. I lost my train of thought. But it's really good to be back, you guys. It's wonderful to talk to you. Anthony, he definitely had long hair. Kyle, definitely not long hair. Oh, you guys are goofy. Puff the Magic Wagon. It's fine, Anthony. It's a long time ago. I found you on Facebook, stalker. I don't remember you. How dare. At least he's honest. But to be fair, I don't remember a lot of things. I love it. What are you doing this for, Anna? I'm guessing is this. This is for a tier on Patreon. I just opened my Patreon again after ignoring it for a year, basically. And I have 3 tiers, but I was thinking of adding a 4th tier, and the other tiers are like mascotted by these guys, where there's like a bird, a rodent, and a fox. And I thought a 4th tier, what would be fun? Something mythical. So a dragon came out. And then I did these like sketches of it and other sketches somewhere. And it blossomed from there into a painting. So we basically, like, we don't have to have this right now because I'm not going to roll out the new tier right now, but I felt like painting it. And I was talking about at the beginning of the stream feeling like when you feel a little bit of like, oh, I want to paint that, that's usually the best time to paint it, because after that you can lose inspiration so quickly and like motivation to do it. So I would rather have this ready to go for when I want to start the new tier, just in case, and not have to push it out at a time when I'm super busy or don't feel like doing it. So that was the idea behind that. I'll definitely have to like flesh out this tail, how I want to make the marks, because I feel like, well, I guess the bird tail has something that I would think of like as a possibility for this, where you kind of have a lot of marks making the end of like a tuft of fur. But that kind of stuff you kind of have to see fleshed out. I guess I'm doing it right now, but like I wouldn't just like trust myself to do it the right way from the outset. I would kind of have to play with it. But you know, part of this is not settling for so-so. So I'm like really trying to make it something that I enjoy, where it's like, that looks like something I like. It's pleasing to my eyes. That's the joy of it. Okay, let's see. Zona says, I vote for more art streams. Okay, I'll just do more. No, I think that it'll be particular with this, like what I will stream, because I want to keep certain things exclusive for patrons, but I don't want to stream less for you guys. But I'm also going to be doing illustration work for my agent, which is super secret, can't like show or talk about those kind of things. And then class stuff. So like things for SVS, I could do, I think on stream, I would just have to have it screen recorded as well so that I can use it with commentary later for the classes. But yeah, anyways, that's a dragon. It's a halfway done dragon. This is definitely not a final one, but I'm digging on the shapes and stuff right now. I could probably like clean up a little bit of this, make sure that the curves are like really rounded out, and I think this is one that will really benefit from stepping away from it for a little while and coming back and seeing the values and the colors for the first time again and be like, oh, I know how to fix this. I know what I want from it. Because something about it is off still to me, but not in a way that's like unfixable. It's still good to me. All right, let's see. Long says, good chatting with you again. Thank you. It's so good to talk to you guys too. I feel like I miss my friends, my online friends. Zona says, it's a cute wagon. Thank you. Nice, it looks great. Thank you, Kyle. It makes me want to go finish my new character illustrations for my website idea. Do it, Zona, and make your first Zona as just like a little thing for you. All right, I will save it here, and I will say adios, muchachos. Have a wonderful week. What day is it? It's Tuesday. Oh gosh, I should know better. It's Tuesday. Have a great week. I might see you again this week. We'll see. And for now, that's all. Bye-bye.